Live. It's the August 22nd, 2014 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
So Misha has a new tablet.
Yes, I finally got rid of my personal BlackBerry and upgraded to an LG G3.
All right.
And while I was there, the guy was like, "Oh, did you know you could get a?" No, he goes, "Do you need a tablet?" I goes, "Yeah, I could use one. I really don't want to get one because there's money involved." He goes, "Well, since you're getting the LG G3, you can get the LG Pad for 99 cents."
You did better than I did, Misha.
All
So,
right.
are you Verizon? Are you AT&T?
I am AT&T, so I got this little gizmo here. It's tiny, it's small.
Okay.
It's the LG G-Pad 7.0, so it's a smaller one. And I mean, I really don't need it has everything. So, and I could pair it with my cell phone, and I could actually answer calls on this.
Oh, I like it.
As long as it's paired together, I can, if I don't have the phone handy and I have this,
you can answer.
I can answer the phone, I can get text messages, I can get notifications, everything from the cell phone on here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you actually got the 4G on your tablet now, too?
You know what? I don't even know. I'm assuming it's all 4G. That's all that. No, I think that's all that AT&T has now. Like, there's no option.
Right.
It's whatever comes standard from AT&T.
Well, I broke down.
I've been a customer since 1997, and I don't get jack squat.
AT&T?
Yeah, but apparently it's a corporate thing where they're no longer offering the perks that they used to, so you don't get free stuff, you don't get free cases, you don't get, they don't give you anything anymore.
Oh, you have to talk to a special or retention.
You don't even know what I went through. I mean, I went to a company store, a corporate store, and the service person basically told me, because I said, well, I went to a retailer, and he said to check with you guys because you guys might be able to give me, give something. And he basically told me, well, you got options. You could either get it from us or you can go back and get it from the guy. So, he's like, we don't give you anything. So, that's your option. Go get it somewhere else. So I was like, then I talked to his supervisor and the manager, and he basically was like, yeah, we don't give anything.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm surprised because I had such a different, and I did the same thing, Misha. I took my phone in, and I decided it was time to get a new phone. My old phone didn't have enough memory. I kept clearing all the calls and texts and everything. So I got the Samsung S5, which is supposed to be the latest and greatest.
Yes, is that good? You like it?
Yeah, well, so far, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I haven't really used it enough yet to make my determination. I'm still learning. They have the haptic touch now, which is something different for me, where if you tap it, it does one thing. If you hold it down until it vibrates, that's the haptic part about it, then it does something else. Well, my contacts, if I tap them, you call. If I hold down, it edits. Well, I called everybody that I know just to recreate my favorite list.
Oh.
Oh well.
No, you should be. I have a Galaxy S4 active, and all you have to do is go to your contacts, open the list, and there's a star. You just click on the star and highlight it, and that automatically populates to you.
My contacts have, for whatever reason, got uploaded from Gmail.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know why? I know why. That happened to me, and I hate it because
it makes it so hard to use. You have to use your favorites list now.
Right.
To find anybody.
There's an option to say where you're getting your contacts from. Right. So when you go into your contacts, go to settings, and it'll ask you where to pull the contacts from.
Right, but I think this is already
you are using you had to sign up with Gmail in order to activate the Play Store it will automatically sync your Google account to your device. So you either need to turn off your sync, or you need to tell it where to pull the address book from, because it will pull it from everything you download. Gmail, Skype, and they don't merge them into one contact. You'll have multiple of the same.
Right. I think that's been done so long ago that there is no going back. That was done on the previous phone.
Yeah, so it's the one thing about it.
Unless I want to go through 4,000 people, I really don't have a choice.
Yep. But there should be a way to uncheck it. Don't delete it, because it will delete every single Gmail contact that you have. I did that by mistake, because I was trying to delete Gmail contacts on my mom's tablet, thinking it wasn't connected, and it literally wiped everything out of my Google Voice.
Now that's an experience I don't want to go through.
Right. So don't do that. So now I have to re-enter everything from there. Yeah. So it might be a little tricky, but as they keep doing things, they need to kind of think about how they're pulling this stuff in. If Google wants you to be wants to be your only email client, then they need to give the option so you can either opt out or opt in.
Right, I agree.
And they're not doing that. So
and they did offer me a tablet with Mayan for free, the same small little tablet that you have. And I told them, I think all these guys are developers, and they all beta test, and they develop these products for themselves. Normal people like me that are old and need bigger tablets. I can't deal with the tiny little tablet.
Well, I know they have the big size now, the one that looks like a laptop, and I'm like, oh my God. But okay, why would I pay almost $1,000 for a tablet from the cell phone company when I could go get a computer for like
Right. Well, I did get one they did charge me $50 for it, so I did opt for that for the 10 inches.
Yeah, I could have
pay the extra money to have the bigger screen.
Right. But this one I was like, it's 99 cents.
Yeah, well, to me, I don't understand what's the difference between a phone and a tablet then at that point. At 8 inches.
It doesn't, you can't make a call. It doesn't have that voice part to it.
Well, my cell phone's like 6.3. It's a Galaxy Mega. It's
nice. That's big.
Decent sized
phone.
But
like really, okay, look at me, Dennis, look at this foolishness, okay? You see the size of this. Okay, really, on the side of my head? Come on now. This is
well, I use a Bluetooth on mine. I never stick it in my head unless the Bluetooth's not working. Or what I do is I put a speaker.
Yeah, I just don't use it that way.
It kind of replaced my tablet in the sense I can carry it in my pocket and I don't have to. Whereas like
what size tablet did you have, Dennis?
I have a Nexus 7, which is
Okay, that's a pretty small tablet. Yep.
That's still too big for my pocket. So I mean, this one fits in my pocket. I can watch videos. I record stuff and stick it in my G drive, and I can watch it on my Galaxy Mega. I can read Kindle books on my Galaxy Mega. I'm so like you. My eyes are I've got bifocals, and I can't be like the Apple, the small Apple. I had an Apple or an iPhone, and it was just too tiny for me to try to read a book on or watch a video on.
These guys are all young and have good eyes and can see.
Yeah, they're delicate.
As far as buying a phone, whenever I buy it, I always do it online on the website. And then I either chat with somebody or get on the phone with them. And I've always gotten really good deals on the phones by going. But if I try to do it myself, I get lost. And if I go to the store, you have to stand there and wait like an hour to talk to somebody. I'm not willing to wait that long. It's too
right.
What I didn't buy. I'm sort of leasing it. I didn't want to pay all that money up front. I'm just paying like $25 a month, and then I can replace it after a year. It's kind of a month-to-month rental, which, from a technology standpoint, I don't want to be locking myself up for 3 years on a phone.
Right.
Right. Right.
Well, we have a plan. Our plan is a 2.5-year plan, but we have the next plan. So we pay $183 for 4 lines, 18, and we each bought a new phone for $25 a piece. So we can upgrade the phones anytime we want, but it just costs like whatever the. I guess they break down the price of the phone in 10 months, you know. So if we decide after 6 months they have a new phone or the iPhone 6 comes out, they can get a new phone and just add it. They'll just trade in the old phone. It's like $25, and plus we get $100 credit.
It's kind of like leasing a car now. I mean, it's like, you know, with technology, it doesn't make any sense to me to be buying a phone. You know, 2 years is a long time for.
Oh, absolutely, a phone to last. So, Christina, who was your carrier?
AT&T.
AT&T. Dennis, who's your carrier?
AT&T.
Larry, who's your carrier?
Verizon.
Linda, who's your carrier?
AT&T.
So AT&T wins.
Wins what?
They're okay.
No. More clients.
Well, a lot of that depends on where you are. Where I am, AT&T and Verizon have the best networks.
Okay, yeah, AT&T has the best network where I'm at. Verizon is rapidly catching up.
Got it. So,
Wow, who's working?
Me.
You know, there's a preference. You can turn off that.
Sounds like QuickBooks to me.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It was that complete transaction.
Well, has anybody heard anything more about the new online advanced certification, or?
I'm
looking at it right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Murph's newsletter. You know, the Mind of Murph Advanced QBO Pro Advisor Certification questions.
Is there anything about apps? That's my question. Are they going to bring in questions about apps? Because one of the last online things that, you know, they did ask you about certain apps, like Method, Method CRM. I've never used Method, so it's hard to answer those questions.
Yeah, I tried Method, and they didn't market it. Originally, they didn't market it.
I'm in the middle of my break. Come on, girl.
Uh-oh, Christina, we're going to mute you here for a sec.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Oh, gosh. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, I'm interested in taking the QuickBooks Online Advanced, but what about it is advanced? What can they do advanced?
Unless they start, you know, asking accounting type questions, you know, that.
And then that's accounting
I mean, that
or
was kind of like the,
type questions, which I really don't want to go there.
with the advanced certification for the desktop, I found to be rather difficult, primarily because I started taking it early and they kept changing the format.
Oh, yeah.
The first time was like, you just got a number, you didn't get any reasons as to why you got it wrong.
Yep.
And then the second iteration was
They didn't tell you.
2 out of 4 right, and you had to try to, you know, figure out which one, you know, second guess or something. Then finally, when the last one, they just gave you the ones you got wrong, and they, you know, you figure out which ones you had got wrong, you could focus on those.
Right, right. The first one actually was a conference in New York. That's how I originally got certified for advanced.
Yeah, originally it was like you went to a 2-day training session, then you got,
Right.
and then they started putting a test on, I think about 2005 or 6, something like that. Or maybe
And then I took the test. And then once you take the advanced test, you're supposed to only have to do the updates.
yeah, the CPE.
Right, right, right. Well, for whatever reason, on my course locker, when I went in to do that, I was able to take, I think, maybe one course, and then it disappeared. So I ended up taking that advanced test twice.
You're kidding.
No. And when I called support, they said, "Oh, we really wanted you to do the follow-up." I'm like, "Well, why wasn't it on my?" "Well, we thought it was." I'm like, "Well, okay."
Yeah, they don't do a real good job of notifying you. Oh, by the way, you need to take 5
Right,
hours of CPE or whatever, 4 hours or whatever.
right, right. So I'd like to have a little bit of a clue what's happening with the
Well,
online
I'm
ban.
just kind of wondering if you're going to have to be a pro advisor to be a paid pro advisor as opposed to a cloud pro advisor.
Oh, I wouldn't have any doubts that you would have to be.
I would think so. I mean, I would think they'd have to, have some way of incenting you to become a pro
Pay
advisor.
that money, right, right. I
I'm
would
like,
imagine that would be the case. My concern is there are so many different apps, so many different ways of doing things. I prefer T-sheets. Maybe they have another timekeeping thing that they're going to ask questions about. I know T-sheets, not the other.
the problem with the online certifications is that you have to code it so there's not much room for ambiguity or alternatives. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like on the original exam, you had to answer it into its way, even though there might be other solutions that would be as good, But in order to be able to score it, they have to be able to, quantify it. It's not like an essay test. No one's grading your reasoning.
Right, right. Well, I guess we'll see what we shall see.
I'm just kind of wondering about the marginal benefit of it. I mean, it's like, is a client really going to care if you're
Advanced work, probably not, because I see the QBO clients as the startups and the smaller business in the whole scheme of things.
Yeah.
The larger they are, when you start getting people that more than one person on the database at one time and networking and all that kind of stuff, even though you can do it with QBO, I just see the desktop being so much better, especially with the job costing, that the desktops tend to be bigger and more mature businesses, as opposed to the online. When you get the young, smaller businesses, they do not want to pay anyone for anything that they don't have to, unless it's directly bringing money into their business. And as far as they're concerned, accounting is not bringing money into their business.
I wonder how well the QBO works for medical offices or like chiropractors, that type of thing, because they have their practice software anyway.
Right.
And well.
So if all you're integrating is for the general ledger,
right,
it should work well. But I don't know. I don't have any experience with that.
Well, I'm wondering with the HIPAA requirements, I thought that the security, the permissions was fairly weak compared to enterprise, and so I would be wondering how that would be HIPAA compliant if employees could have access to that kind of information because of weak, permissions. And roles, where areas restricted from the database.
Well, if you think about it that way, then any QuickBooks desktop user has that problem.
Of course, I suppose if the HIPAA data is housed in the third-party application, I guess it's probably not an issue. But if,
Yeah, if they're doing everything in their third-party application, they wouldn't have all that information going to QuickBooks. You wouldn't have Social Security numbers and all that, and
No, I think it's in some respects it's almost like a little corner 5 and 10 cent store type of thing, where you don't list everything in QuickBooks. You just roll either the daily or the weekly.
It's kind of like POS where just summary journal entries go to the.
Right. You're not going to have
QuickBooks financial.
sales every day. You'll just have total income come in.
Well, that's how most third-party apps work, don't they? I mean, they just send summary journal entries to to QuickBooks GL, and all the data is housed in the third party, I think.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. There are applications that do send every little detail over.
That would make me nervous.
Linda left us.
Uh-oh, she snuck out.
Yeah, I hope it's not technology problems.
Isn't that
Kind of a interesting thing happened this week. I have a client in Shanghai, China,
Oh my.
that I hear periodically from him whenever the IRS is beating him up. You know, well, the IRS is beating him up again.
Okay.
So
Isn't it nice to be wanted?
yeah. Well, he has, the thing is that being in Shanghai, China, the IRS seems to have a hard time finding him.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
He had moved from one Shanghai place to another, and apparently the Chinese postal system doesn't really forward mail, I guess, and so the IRS has lost him again. And so, you know, when you don't file tax returns, the IRS will sort of do one for you based on what they have.
And so they go to Shanghai for him, huh?
Yeah, they did a couple returns for him, and he just found out about it because his employer notified him that he's getting his wages garnished. So I find that usually gets people's attention when they get their wages garnished.
Yeah, it does. That'll get your attention right quick.
But we have to we communicate over Skype, but I can only communicate with him certain times. He's like 15 hours ahead of me.
Right.
So I can only, usually it works best for me at night because it's, you know, like say 15 hours ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually try to call him at night, which is like midday for him or early morning.
So he has an employer here in the United States. Talk about working virtually.
Yeah, he's in Shanghai, and I've got I have a client whose brother is now got POA for my client, and his brother is in Japan, and so I've set up a portal for him, and so now I'm basically working with him virtually through my portal where he's like in Japan.
So Dennis, you've gone international.
Yeah. All I need now is some clients in France, you know, since I speak French. Clients in France and Germany, that'd be kind of cool.
In a country that you actually speak the language. What about your wife? You said she is...
She's from Taiwan.
So there you go. That's another country you'd be good in.
Yeah.
He can translate for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Christina, working.
How can I turn that off?
Preferences.
Okay.
Preferences. Oh my gosh.
We're under general sounds.
I forgot. Come on, I'm doing 50 things. I'm trying to think.
Is it preferences in general?
I would think so.
General and then sounds. I'm gonna go look now myself.
Okay, that's what I mean. It can be confusing. General. Company. No, it's not company. It's just preferences. No, it's not
General. The general preferences.
there. Okay, I'm in general.
You are? And then I would think it would be my preferences, not necessarily company.
Beep. Beep. Beep and recording.
There you go. Uncheck that baby.
Sure did. Yeah. I have to re-enter these 200 invoices, so anytime I have a chance to do it, I'm going to do it.
Oh my gosh, you're doing it by hand.
Transaction Pro Importer.
Yeah, well, I can't, that $200 is not justified for me.
Oh.
It has to be justifiable. If it was for my client or something, they had, I could pass that off. But it's just for me, I can do it again.
200 is about that limit that you really want. I mean, you don't want to do any more than that.
You're right. And trust me, it's gonna get in there. It's just gonna take a while.
Right, right.
Hopefully, I can do it month by month to get my my financials in order by month. Just weak thinking about it.
Oh man.
But I did do my Pro Advisor. Yay!
Hey.
You passed your Pro Advisor test?
No, not yet. I got the software thing and signed up. I switched because I just had the QBA.
Oh, okay.
So Misha, her doing, and oh my gosh, Brandon, Misha and Brandon, we did it last week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
So I'm one step closer. So I guess instead of sitting at home at night watching TV, I can do something creative or constructive and study.
So do you have the accountant's edition? What version of QuickBooks are you using?
Enterprise.
Enterprise. Don't you get that batch entry?
Yeah, I see it in there.
Couldn't you?
I was looking at it and I was like, do I go in and just enter?
Well, you copy and paste.
Yeah,
Yes.
is that where you have like you put in Excel and then you.
Yeah, like if you have it, didn't you say that you had that information in your other QuickBooks?
Yeah, but I have a spreadsheet, so that's why I exported it, and I
So
did
you
it.
exported it to a spreadsheet. Couldn't you make the spreadsheet so that all of the columns match?
I did that.
Then
That's
Copy and paste in the batch entry.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
because I wasn't sure if I had to do the line by line or just.
No,
Oh, my
do it as long as you've mapped everything, and you can change it around. As a matter of fact, if you got the Pro Advisor package, there's training. There's training. Go to what's new in 2014 for Enterprise Solutions. It's at the end of the test. What's new in the Mac is at the end of the test, and it runs over. And I think they even give you a video showing you how to do that.
Okay, because I
I
looked
just
at
finished that test.
Go on YouTube. I always thought it was kind of like the poor man's transaction pro importer, the batch importer.
Okay.
Or what they call it. I don't use it, but I've read about it. I'm pretty sure that I'm sure it's probably Excel based because most people don't know Access.
Right. No, it is Excel based. I have used it. It's been a while since I've used it. Linda, you seem very familiar with it. When was the last time you used it?
I don't use the batch entry, but what happened is I just finished the test. I finished QuickBooks 2013. I think it was July 15th because that was the deadline to get your 2013.
You'll marry both.
Okay, I got it, and then I thought, as long as I'm at it, I'm going to do 2014. So I did 2014, and I just finished that last week. So I just went through the training and the test. That's why I'm familiar with it.
Okay.
There you go, Christy.
I'm gonna try one. I just was kind of I didn't know if you do it by so like here you in the batch you got your date, your number, your pay, your account, your amount, right? Now it doesn't say item, it just says amount. So I'm thinking, do I enter my invoice with the amount of the invoice on the back?
What is just saying you're not seeing the item?
There's no item in it because my invoices, some of them can have 20 items.
Right.
So I'm going to try one. I have one here that's kind of, it's not too long.
Sounds like a good idea, but there's tutorials. Well,
Right.
remember where they are.
Yeah, I don't like tutorials. I'm trying to do it now. And I'll let you know.
Okay, I'm opening up my QuickBooks. It's taken this long because it needed to update.
The one thing that I did do was I had a whole bunch of items. When we brought in the lady's data file from QuickBooks Online, all of her items were service items. So what I did was I exported her service items to Excel.
Mm-hmm.
Then what I did was I changed those service items to non-inventory items. I went back to the item list and I added I think I added a dash, a little minus sign dash to the end of all the service items that were brought into QuickBooks Desktop. Then what I did was I went in to batch enter the items as non-inventory parts, and you can actually change the mapping inside of the QuickBooks Enterprise Solutions. You say, okay, the first column is this, the second column is this, and if you copy and paste and it's not right, you can just cancel that and do it again. I must have done it 4 times before I got it right, but it worked out perfectly then.
Okay.
And
well, before you do that, I would make a backup of the whole database, and then
I did do that. It was all backed up first.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
always
just saying to Christina, you may want to consider making a backup of the
Yes.
entire database first before
Yeah.
you a whole
When
list.
when I was reading to you, I said they didn't have an item. I didn't change the transaction type. So now I changed it to invoice. There is an item. So,
Okay.
Okay, got it.
it's basically like the list. So all my service, the only thing I'm doing is adding in the invoices. The items are already in here
Right.
because these are invoices that kind of got slipped through the cracks at the beginning of the season. So when she went and entered it, she, like I told y'all, she did in the wrong company. So I went to the server and I just told her I changed them all to do not use. And I only have one company file that we are using. So,
So once
but
you,
is there a way can I delete those old company files?
oh yeah, if you're not using them,
Okay.
A lot of times I'll put them into a folder in case I have to get back to them for some reason.
call it archive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
one
I was
thing
just
I
gonna
always-
give you one.
I wouldn't throw them away right away.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
You know,
One thing I would do, Christina, is any file that is an old data file that you don't want to use, go into company information and edit it and write old blank do not use, so that if somebody happens to grab a hold of that file and open it up, in the top left-hand corner it will say old XYZ do not use. You want to tip off that you've got the wrong one open rather than having somebody enter all this wrong information, like a day's worth or something, into the wrong file. So
You've done that though, haven't you, Christina?
Say that again?
You've done that already though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do this pace thing. I know that, like Linda said, there's a class, but we're gonna see. I'm looking. It's doing okay, but it's changing my numbers.
It's changing your numbers.
My invoice numbers, because you know they're different.
Because it automatically.
My numbers change. So if that's the case, then it's only entering invoice by invoice, no line items. And that I gotta have my line items because I do
Right.
check which ones I use. But I'm gonna try this and see. I'm about to copy them. Let's see. It's still gonna change. Copy and paste. Okay, it's changing, so that's good. All right, I'm learning something new, and and I'm too lazy to do tutorial. I'll probably do the tutorial later.
Well,
I want to see if this works. This one person. Then I
we
can go back.
continue then. We'll see if next week you have the project done.
Yeah. Oh, girl, that would save like years off my life. If that's the case.
We're all about that for sure.
Oh, it's not my phone this time.
Uh-oh.
Mine.
That's because Dennis isn't on it. You're on your desktop now.
Yeah. It's important they'll call back.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I've been meaning to ask everyone. For our Hangouts, does anybody have a good picture that they want to put up on the event? The picture that I have now, the Mohawk monkey, was given to me by Bruce. We were at one point passing this monkey around. So he gave me a picture of the monkey looking at his MacBook. That was the closest thing I could find. So if anybody has anything else they'd like to use, let me know. Email me. Send me a picture.
Okay.
Is that what you're using now? Is a monkey looking at a MacBook?
Yep, yep. If you look at the event page.
I don't think I've ever been to the event page then, because I don't remember that.
Let me see if I can. I think I have it up. No, it's not going to bring it up for me. Not sure why. Because I do have it.
All right, I'm going to go look over here. So I want to go over to Google. Hold on.
And you want to go to events. Yeah, it didn't let me. I mean, I do have it up, but it's not giving me one of the things to pick. I open it up in Explorer.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
There we go.
The computer is just not fast.
What's that? Huh.
Okay.
Okay, let's see now. We want to go to. I don't know. I'm going to go to Google.
Google Plus, and then events.
Alrighty. I just typed a thing about an interesting app I just found. It's called Unroll Me. If you belong to a lot of lists on one of your emails, if you, I guess, load that app, it will show you all the lists you're on and unsubscribe you from the ones you check.
Now, does it really do that? I was always afraid of doing the unsubscribe because then they would know that they have a real address.
No, well, by law, they have to actually unsubscribe you.
They lie.
They always do. If you do them one by one, you can usually tell. You know, I love Sean. But he and Rhonda send out so many emails. I mean, it's like they're just posting all the time. I get 10 or 12 a day from each one of them. And it just fills up my box.
Yep. Yep.
But I don't want to miss them, so I'm going to Google+. And now, all right, now somehow I should be able to find communities. Is that right?
On the left-hand side, go to events.
Let me look and see. I don't see anything. Oh, where it says home, I should click on home and change it to event. Got it. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you. All right, hold on. I just
even
did
tried
that.
bringing mine up in Internet Explorer, and it's still not letting me share. Maybe because I'm on the event? I don't know.
Okay, hold on. I got coming events. I do not have a picture of a monkey. I have a picture of a whole bunch of people.
But there should be another one that says 8/22/14 Small Business Accounting Advisors.
Yeah, that one doesn't. All right, hold on. Let me look into it. Has is that a Mac? Oh yeah, it is a MacBook because I see the little tray at the bottom.
Oh, so you got it. That's the picture I'm talking about.
Is the monkey like purple, orange, blue, and orange?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that was a monkey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just
I thought it was a scarf.
Just this head. It's a little mohawk monkey looking at a Mac machine. I just happen to know what the photo was.
Okay. All right. Well, I get the one with the people, and they're actually moving. They actually move in the picture.
That was the original one back when they originally brought out the.
Well, they're both up here, and they both say today, August 22nd.
The one I use is perpetual. Yeah, see, my screen is blank. It's not allowing me to do that.
Oh, well, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Did anybody go to Seth's thing this morning?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Okay.
Actually, next week is going to be interesting with Zero.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's bringing in Jamie Sutherland and Ian. How do you say his last name? Vaccine. I always want to say
Viken or something, or I'm not sure exactly.
Okay.
I want to find out more about the reports that are supposed to be coming out.
Are you still using Zero, Dennis?
Oh yeah, for my own personal business.
And how do you like it?
What I like about it is when I send out invoices, I can see if somebody's opened up my invoice,
Oh, nice.
so I can bug them if.
I can't lie to you.
Well, I'm not sure how it works if it turns pale green, if it turns color when they've paid it online, or if they just open it. Because I had one, I thought the guy hadn't opened it, but he actually paid me with a check. So maybe it's something that I was assuming if it hadn't changed color, it hadn't been opened, but maybe if it hadn't changed color, it meant it hadn't been paid online. So
Maybe he previewed it
yeah,
and then just wrote the check from that.
yeah, I was about ready to call him that day. Unfortunately, I'd gone to the mailbox first, so I saved myself the
In that
embarrassment.
case, it truly was in the mail.
Yeah, saved myself the embarrassment of finding him when he actually had paid me. So
Right. So yeah, if anybody has any small business accounting type of photos that they want to share, I'll put it up.
Okay.
I mean, this was the closest I could find, and plus it has to be more triangular in shape than square.
What's triangular instead of square?
The picture that I'm looking for.
Oh,
Is it-
okay, got it.
is anybody beta testing QuickBooks 2015?
Yes.
I used to do it, but I don't anymore. It was just too much work for the trouble.
Yeah, I don't even use the software at this point. I used to, but from the Pro Advisor, I did, pardon?
You only use online?
No. When you beta test, they give you free software for doing the beta.
Got it.
Yeah, they'll give you basically the software you were using.
Right. And I get the software in my Pro Advisor package,
Yeah.
and that's all I really need at this point.
I just found I could never keep up with it. It was just too much of a.
Right.
Like it seemed like they just kept shortening the beta period. It used to be you get the software like in November. Now you get it like in September. So I'm assuming they're probably finishing up with the final test since it's in August.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming we'll probably hear some. I'm not sure what more they can be adding to. You know, sometimes it seems like they just kind of recycle the interfaces and call that new. You know, or an improvement or something.
True.
You know.
But it's their own fault for setting themselves up for that.
Well, the
They
database.
bring out a new version every year.
Well, yeah, the database. I mean, you kind of run out of things you can put into it, and
Right.
and if you're trying to mimic the stuff you're doing online, then kind of like, what's the point?
Right. Well, I kind of lost faith when they went ahead and did all that change with the whole colors and all of that.
Yeah.
All of the beta testers hated it, and
Right.
they still came out and did it anyway. And it
Yeah.
just really made me feel like, what am I beta testing for?
Right.
You're still beta testing after it's released. You know, I mean, you're still in beta testing in the sense.
Oh, yeah. I've been asked to test certain things in the middle of the year, like January or February, yes.
No, I'm talking about the software that, things keep, they don't work, and then you have to, it gets uploaded in the service pack or what they call them, their updates.
Mm-hmm. There are whatever.
Yeah, and then because they've devoted more and more resources to online, it seems like sometimes the fixes cause more problems.
Well, I think the database is that mature now at this point that any kind of fix is going to cause some problem somewhere.
Well, I was talking to colleague of mine that is an expert on QuickBooks and the database, and she was saying that as a practical matter, has a capacity of about once it gets above 1.5 gig, you're going to have trouble.
Oh yeah, well, I just ran into that.
The things that really fill it up are the inventory and the job cost of all these different links.
Right.
And so if they keep adding more features, it seems like
it's going to do it. Well, I'm with you, Dennis. I'm not really sure what the advantage of enterprise is, other than the user.
Yes.
That you can control what users see. To me, it doesn't seem like it works. You start doing all these greater things, and your database gets to a point where it's too big, and you start getting corruption, and
it just fills up faster.
Yes.
Right. And talking to support throughout the whole experience that I had, they kept telling me this is what enterprise is built for. Enterprise is built for the size of the business of you right now. You don't have like a whole lot of employees, but they have, it's still got up there. The size of the database just kept increasing. And
did it have a lot of inventory parts or job costs?
No, they didn't use inventory at all. It was payroll and job costing is what it was.
Right.
And when you have all these different links going back and forth, that's where you're...
Right. Yeah. Right. So I'm starting to lose faith in a lot of stuff with Intuit.
Right.
Well, it seems like they're kind of the victim of their own success, where it's kind of like Lotus 1-2-3, where they were slow to change, and Microsoft Excel came in and kind of ate their lunch. Because for a long time Lotus was dominant in the spreadsheet marketplace as was WordPerfect, and they just couldn't.
Oh right, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I definitely don't like the merchant services that they have now. I really am hearing horrible things about the Intuit merchant services or the Intuit payment solutions. Lots of terrible stuff about previous settings in desktop, and you move it to online. People have problems and can't get it to work now. The horrible experience that I had where my information was attached to a client's, which in my book, I'll never use them again.
Yeah, right.
Payroll. It's my understanding, and a long time ago, many years ago, people would ask me, who do you recommend for payroll? And I would always say either ADP or Paychex. I did not include Intuit in there whatsoever. The reason being, you have no person to call when you have a problem. You have a problem with your payroll, you call them, and they say, we'll call you back. For me, that's just not acceptable for payroll. When a client needs to have payroll done, tomorrow is not good enough.
Well, usually they're calling because they have to get payroll out that day, and they're
right, absolutely.
It's in the morning or the day before, and it's not working, and they're nervous because their employees will not be very understanding as to why.
No employee is understanding why they don't get their check. Nowadays, with electronic transfers and all of that stuff with your banking, they have they have amounts that are being automatically taken out of their account that are based on money going into the account on a certain day.
So your $35 a pop fee.
$35 a pop domino effect, and ow, big time ouch on that. And payroll, from what I understand, did get better, and I started, okay, I will, start taking on clients that are using QuickBooks Payroll. Again, with this recent client that I had, they almost missed their payroll. They were within an hour of making their payroll, which to me, And they said to him, can't we call you and give you the hours just to get payroll? Can't we do a standard check for these guys without all of the expenses and everything? Just give our guys 40 hours, all of them. You know, we'll make the adjustment. No, no other solution. No other solution. So to me, that is just too much of a risk for an employer to make with their employees' pay.
Well, if they're Intuit Payroll, that means they're going to have to worry about integrating with QuickBooks, whereas like Paychex or ADP, they'll give you a, you know, what is it? It's not a CSV file or a text file that they can just pull in, and that.
Right.
You're not trying to keep the payroll information in QuickBooks. You've got the payroll information basically in ADP or Paychex, and
Right.
you know.
Right. And
So,
you're never in a position that you cannot make payroll. It doesn't matter if the electric goes out. It doesn't matter if a storm is coming through. If you're using ADP or Paychex, they will get that money to the employees
yeah,
when they're supposed to have it.
yeah, that's their, you know, raison d'etre for being. It's like Intuit Payroll is part of Intuit, I assume. I mean, they call themselves Intuit Payroll, so, you know, it just seems like they've got a higher burden in the sense of not only doing the payroll, but also making sure that everything integrates well with QuickBooks so it can be housed in QuickBooks.
Right.
Especially like job costs.
I'm a firm believer that a business needs to give themselves a fighting chance. So regardless of what payroll service you're using, that you start off each employee with a holdback period. If you're paying biweekly or whatever, hey, they work for a month before they get paid. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, but once they've done their job and they're expecting a payroll, when they're expecting their check to be into their bank account at a certain time, and they've already worked the work, there's no reason why the employer should not be able to put that money in their bank account.
Right.
That's my issue. There has to be a way, a safety net, we'll say, for the client, for the employer to be able to pay his employees.
Is Intuit Payroll, is that U.S. based, or have they outsourced it to, you know, overseas?
It's U.S. based, but they are so difficult to work with that when we were working with them, we had diamond level support on the phone with us, and they had to wait in line to talk to payroll just like anyone else.
Good Lord.
And then when they came back, they're like, well, I didn't really get a good answer from them. We'll have to wing it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, well, what do you got? You know, you got nothing at that point. I'm going with what you say, and let's just cross our fingers.
Because you feel your heartburn kind of going up your esophagus.
Yeah.
Well, just think if you got employees in different states and the whole nine.
Yeah, well, that was what the problem was. They were all direct deposits, you know, and they were different states and different places. Even if they had written the checks that day, they would not have been able to get them mailed to the employee in time. And even if they did get them by Friday when they were supposed to, I'll bet all the employees would have taken off and gone to the bank.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have gotten any work out of them.
Yeah, I've had that FedEx.
So, yeah, and you know, it's different if there's 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. When you're talking about 65, 70, that's a whole world of difference.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about a payroll that big, there's no excuse for that payroll not to go out. None whatsoever.
Employees aren't very forgiving of that kind of.
Not at all.
A lot, but not getting shafted on the payroll.
Absolutely. So I'm back to not recommending Intuit for that very reason. If there is not someone that I can call and get my problem solved today and meet my deadline, then it's not a solution for me. You know, maybe you will pay extra for ADP or paychecks, but to me, the insurance that the employee is going to get paid when they expect the payment is worth it.
Well, does Paychecks and ADP, do they do other things other than payroll?
Yes, yes. Yes, they have the Paychecks has this workers' comp program
Yes, very nice.
where you pay as you go, and for small businesses,
Mhm.
it is, yeah, it's a real money saver.
Yep.
Normally, what you do for workman's comp is you pay a year in advance for what you expect your payroll to be.
Right.
When you're a construction company, it could be way off. It could be up. It could be down. You know, you just don't know. At the end of the year, they look at it. Oh, you didn't use all of it. Here's a check back. Or here, you owe more money. We expect check in 10 days.
Yeah.
You know, in either case, it's not a happy situation.
I think in the state of Washington, they have like, they'll start you out with a certain rating, and then they adjust it based on your experience. And so if you've got people, like in construction, you've got people up on roofs, you're going to have a real high rate.
Yep. And what if you don't work the amount of work that you expected you were going to? You're overpaying that workers' comp.
You know,
And at the end of the year, that money would have been better, in your client's pocket than they would be, you know, sitting in the workman's comp fund.
time value of money alone.
Right, right. So the pay-by-pay workman's comp for Paychecks, I think, is a very good deal for small employers.
Hmm.
And they do human services, human resources. They have packages that you can do that. They also have investment packages where they will maintain your 401k fund for you and
Okay.
that kind of thing. But these are all a la carte services.
Yeah,
You don't have to
they
subscribe.
probably outsource some of that stuff, I would think.
I would imagine they do. I would
Especially
imagine
like
they
the
do.
investment services. I can't imagine that.
Oh, yeah, you're not getting a top of the line.
I can't imagine that a payroll company is going to be. You know, you kind of have to focus your energies. It's kind of like with Intuit, I think that they're dividing their focus between the desktop and the online, whereas like Xero is strictly focused online.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm still at the point where I think Xero needs a little bit of growing up to do.
Well, I think the reports need to be a little more. QuickBooks has better reports as far as I can see. And what I've heard and what I would like to see with Xero is be able to do, like for example, with like Access, you can create calculated fields
Right,
and on a query and have that as a basis for reports, so you don't have to actually house the database. You create it on the fly, and that's what I would like to see with, like, I mean, Expand Reports had that kind of functionality where you could create calculated fields. I was disappointed that that didn't survive. I mean, like I was telling on the Hangouts, it was like they were searching for a market that wasn't there. They're playing to a audience that wasn't there, which is unfortunate. And I think that's kind of the danger with companies that focus on QuickBooks reporting, is that most of the audience could care less about,
right.
unless they're given a lot of coaching and get coached up to understand how to use these reports in their business. But we were talking, I think last week, that most clients are looking at cash flow and sales, and
Yep,
can
exactly.
can they make payroll, and can they pay their bills, and
Not worried about those financials, not until they go to the bank or something happens that someone's asking.
or if they go try to sell their business.
Or they try to sell
If they
their
go try to sell their
right?
business, and they're asked to take a huge discount because they're not supposed to be,
Right, right. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, we are out of time already.
We are. Another weekend is here.
So anybody, if you have pictures, send them to me. Maybe I can refresh our little event picture.
Sure.
Anything else anyone wants to talk about before we go?
Can't think of anything, no.
Oops. Sorry.
Train, fly the train.
Frank's saying goodbye.
All right. That's good.
See you next week, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.